Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
It's motorsport, but not as you know it. Test yourself and your everyday road car. Safe, affordable, but most of all, fun. And all you need is your daily driver. Experience the thrill of a sprint day. Race against the clock at a hill climb. Or test your reflexes with an auto test. It takes just 3 simple steps to get started. Get on the start line. Search Motorsport Australia Daily Driver today.
Good evening and welcome to another Saturday night of high virtual octane racing. And what a night of racing we have in store for you, with race regulars rubbing paint with the elite of real world motorsport. We'll get back to that teaser a bit shortly. Round 6 of the ANZ ESeries GT3 National Championship moves its way to Road Atlanta in Georgia. And what better way to close out an American leg of the championship than right here at Road Atlanta. Known for its blind apexes and the S's, it reminds you more of a roller coaster than it does a racetrack, but real drivers from around the world, either virtually or in real life, keep flocking back to this mesmerizing circuit. This GT3 National Championship has had some heated battles, but overall the standard of racing has been above par, with some great racing throughout the field, and it's a credit to the ANZ team and Ben Faulkner for organising a championship where drivers can do just that. Drive and show their skills to a wider audience. But with any great tournament, you need great backing. The event would not be possible if it wasn't for our loyal watchers and drivers turning up each and every time we hit a virtual racetrack, and our devoted and supporting sponsors. Hymo Setups are one of them. They've been on board since the start. Burley Motor Group, give him a burl. He's on the Gold Coast. Trophy Hub, it's in the name. First Take Photography, Motorsport Australia, thank you guys. Race Labs, and of course you guys at SimSpeed TV. If you're on there, jump on the chat and give us a like on that as well. Wherever you are tonight, wherever you're watching, thanks for joining us tonight. I'm your host, Aaron Obeseller, and joining me in the studio, bringing you this entertainment, is the talented producer, Jay Kennedy. And joining me, gibbering in front of the big stick and narrating all the action tonight, is the accomplished and polished Daniel Yeaman. Welcome.
Thank you once again, Aaron, for that introduction. And indeed, getting ready to go racing here tonight at Road Atlanta. And yeah, fantastic American venue, incredible history. Now, even though it is barely 40, not even 45 years old as well, despite that fact there. But home to racing such as the Petit Le Mans, which is probably the most famous, at least of the races that still does run here at this venue in current day. But nevertheless, has been an important part of the American motorsporting landscape as we have a look at it here from down on above, well, from above, I should say.
Yeah, with the track length just over 4 kilometers long, it says 12 turns. There's a little sneaky turns in there that don't get added. I think there's 10A, 10B, and 12A and 12B. They don't get added in there, but this racetrack is sublime. Getting on there virtually is just amazing. Turn 1 uphill, really fast right-hander. As you come up into turn 3, blind. You turn into the apex and don't even know where it is until it's underneath you. And then the biggest, a long straight from turn 7 down into turn 10. Massive passing opportunities down there tonight. So I'm really looking forward to tonight. We've got some real-world drivers jumping in here with us as well tonight, so we'll see how they go around this track and see how they can rub shoulders with the likes of our series leaders. Hopefully they're up there with it as well. A little bit different for tonight as well. We normally do 2 15-minute qualifiers. We're going to shorten that to 20 minutes, and the whole grid is out there on this 4-kilometre track, so you got to find some space. Then we're going to go straight into a 15-minute little sprint to the grid, followed by our feature race for 45 minutes, where they will have to stop for fuel. So strategy does come a part of that race tonight. But Jay, it's Jay in production, he's going to have his work cut out for him. And Dan, this is going to be fun tonight, mate.
I mean, yeah, fast, furious laps already sitting in the mid 1-minute 18s for our drivers at the top of the qualifying tower. So it'll go past pretty quickly. I mean, obviously being time certain means that's a chance to get more laps on the borders. We'll get to that qualifying action in the background in a couple of moments' time. But a chance, first of all, to look here at championship standings after our first 5 rounds of the season. And while despite the fact that he missed an entire round, Cody Death still comfortably sitting on top of the charts. That is the result of 4 perfect rounds to open the season off to get you 1,220 points next to his name, and that means that he currently sits at just a little under 206, almost 260 points clear of Dylan Burse, there his teammate for Eclipse Sim Sports, sitting nicely in second. He in turn has just over 105 point margin to be precise. Zach Rattray White there, and Joe Christensen in behind the next 2 cars, and also making it another pair, of course, in the form of Vermilion Motorsports drivers there, and then Simon Nicholson, who we've missed a couple of rounds, but he's currently still sitting in the top 5 and looking good in qualifying as well, which we'll look forward to getting to as well. But it's there on back. That championship is still pretty tight for the second half of the top 10. And well, if you haven't heard about it before or seen anything about it in this season so far, fixed car setups for these drivers, meaning that they are all running on the same bit of equipment. It's all been provided by Hymo Setups for this season, and we'll be looking to see how this continuing balance of performance efforts built into the setups do their part. As we will now cut to the on-track footage, and yep, there it is. The name at the bottom of your screen is indeed that of Jack Doohan, and he's looking to get himself on the board here tonight in qualifying. And although so far 2 times haven't counted just yet for the number 14.
Yeah, they've still got 20 minutes out there, so we got, it does say the qualifying's taking 28 minutes. I know what's going to happen after 20 minutes. They're going to do a hard cut. Anyone that's on a lap, they're going to let them finish the lap, and then it's back into the pits, and we'll go live racing. Now, Jack Doohan, such a good name to have out here, rubbing shoulders with the guys out there tonight. Hopefully we get to have a chat with him, maybe in Victory Lane, but maybe we get to have a chat with him at the moment. But it's good to have an onboard here as he's on a hot lap at the moment. We're just going around. This is turn 7. That brings you onto the main straight now. Very, very important corner. Get on the power as quick as you can as you come down here. He's on for a lap, actually. It's good that you jumped on board with him at the moment, because I think that he's going to improve. Well, he's going to have to improve because he hasn't got a time on the board at the moment. So as you smash your way down this hill into the complex 10A and 10B, it's very important to get this right-handed done. And then as you come over this crest, it is blind. There's a pit entry on the right-hand side that you never see. There it is. It comes up pretty quickly and then flat through past this start-finish line that comes up very, very quickly. And he's just gone through with a 118.7, so that's putting him up into P10. I did see him in practice earlier doing, I don't know what times he's doing, but he's doing a 118.6-ish.
5.
So, was it a 5? There you go, 118.5. Oh, and look who else we got on track tonight. We've got Richie Stanaway out there. I don't think that number's going to represent what he can do out there. The P21, I reckon he'd be doing better than that at the moment. In a questionable livery. I'm trying to work out what the livery is, but it looks fantastic. And who can forget the man? He's missed, KD's missed 1 race, but he's still at the top of the championship. Look out for him to be taking it to the guys tonight from the Eclipse SimSport team. The one person I wanted to mention in the as we had the standings up before is a man by the name of Damon Woods. Now he has only done 2 rounds and is in P8. So he's doing really well with the points at the moment. So keep an eye on him. He's going to make his way up to the front of this field as well. Looking forward to seeing what he does. So that's Cody Deitch with a 118.1. Wow, that is rapid at the moment. That's going to take some beating.
It is, and good to see him back on top after we missed him last time out at Laguna Seca. But I think, important tonight, as you said, with Damon Woods, who's only done 2 rounds and basically came second and first in them and both, and immediately shooting right up the championship order. There's certainly pickings aplenty to be had, as Dylan Burse is a second off the pace for that lap, so never mind. That's a warm-up for the 68 Eclipse car. I saw 146 in a minute. Look at the top, and hang on a second. No, there's a 19 in front of that. That needed to be worried about first. Gianni Lutzu also making, not sure it's not his first start for the season in this championship, but it's certainly been a little while since we've seen the 58 machine in the championship, Aaron. So strong representation once again from the extended Vermilion Motorsports roster. So
yeah, it's good to have the guys in here. Actually, it's they opened up a little bit and opened the floodgates a bit for the Vermilion drivers, and they took it as well. So some good experience for those guys racing with some of the best GT3 races in the country. So it can only go to strengthen there. As we just jump on board with Jacob O'Reilly at the moment, and he's just done an incredibly fast first sector. I'm trying to work out what's he on for at the moment, but we might just stay with him. Could we jump on board with him to show him what this lap's all about? This should be rapid, and he's going to have a tiny bit of a tow if he can get to the back of that Porsche in front of him. Oh, great graphics you've got there, Jay, as well in the background there with the speed and gear that he's in.
Ellis is the man up ahead in the Dynamic Sim Sports number 73 Porsche. So, oh no, O'Reilly's going to roll out. So
yeah, he fell away in that second sector.
Didn't hook up that second sector indeed. Once you get down to the bottom of the S's and up through turns 6 and 7, so he tends to roll back and reset in behind. He's got teammate Jamie Christensen as well, so possibility to help the number 5 machine perhaps sling shot a little bit further up the grid, as indeed Christensen's just warming himself up to get a lap together according to that there. So they'll get to it on this one. Nathan Gardner. Now that is a new paint scheme there, at least since last time out. So new driver for Blackout OPR tonight there, at least based on what paints have been telling us in the past couple of rounds. So we'll see what Nathan can do. Currently sits unfortunately at the back of the pack, but still another 7 to 8. It's 8 minutes left to account for that. And Sutton Nicholson also looking to put another strong result on the board as he comes down the backstretch. Go better than P6. He's got to find 1/10 of a second to eclipse Zach Rattray White in front of him. 4/10 off the leaders as Gianni Lutzu jumps up into P3.
Yeah, good lap from Gianni Lutzu. I was just watching that at the moment. As we just said that, Dylan Burse did a 118.2, really rapid lap at the top there. As you see Simon Nixon come across off the line, improves a little bit and stays in P7 after that event. Hey, we're talking tenths here. These boys have been out there practicing because there is nothing between first to 20th at the moment. We're talking less than a second between the whole field at the moment here. So it's gonna make for interesting racing. It's gonna make for close racing. This track is one of those that you just literally have to hold your breath. Even in the sim, you just gotta. I'm gonna balls to the wall sort of moments around here, and just hope that the car grips up and hope that you can come out the other side with a fresh car. As you see Cody Deitch just roll out of that lap. I don't think he'll need to do much more than that. If he is going to do any quicker than that, that'll be record pace, I'd imagine, for around here. I have seen a 17.9 once before, but not with these generation of cars. So as you see Damon Woods just pondering and reflecting maybe on a lap that he's about to do or has done before. So up the front there, the two Eclipse boys. Actually, let's just call them all Eclipse. So 1, 2, 3 lockout for the Eclipse racing team at the moment. Cody Deitch, Dylan Burse and Damon Woods. And with the Vermilion drivers, 3 Vermilion drivers directly behind him. Gianni Lutzu, Jacob O'Reilly and Zach Rattray White. So, as Simon Nicholson just puts himself up into P5 in that Ferrari with a 118.4. So very close through the times at the moment.
Dude, finally putting the Team PGZ Porsche right where it's certainly been. Just haven't seen it consistently all season, unfortunately. And teammate Matthew Dench is here as well, back in P8. So watch out for the 83, perhaps. Maybe got something more, although currently parked in the pit lane. Perhaps there's something else. P20 at this stage, currently in the hands of Samuel Sproul, who's been running these races once again. Doesn't need to find much. He's our last car within a second of original pole time, but he only needs 3 1,000ths of a second to eclipse Simon Chabot. We'll check in with him a little later in the session. And Shane Chancellor, second time in the series here tonight after racing last week at Laguna Seca. Going to go better than P23. If you find a 10th of a second, that'll be enough. Get to a 119. 119.4 will do it. Sorry, 119.3. Yep, that'll do the jump up to him. And in fact, it will eclipse Richie Sanaway as well. So it takes 2 spots up to P21 there as we're inside 5 minutes to go.
Yeah, well, hopefully we do this this hard cut shortly, and we get to see someone on their last lap as they go past the start-finish line and finish off a flyer. There's a few guys in the pits. Damon Woods is still in the pits at the moment. We're on board here with Nathan Gardner, P24, coming down the hill. He's going to eclipse a few guys here if he can just get this last corner done. Goes across the line for a 120. I really thought he was on for a 119. No, he was on for a 119. 119.9, which no improvement. That's how close it is through this grid at the moment. All he needs to do is find. He only has to find 7/10 to find to get Greg Barber at the moment, and then a further 8/10 to put himself up into the midfield at the moment. So on board with Thomas Hinz at the moment. He's in P14 at the moment. He's on a nice lap at the moment. I think he's going to just warm up these tyres. I don't think that's going to eclipse any of his previous laps at the moment. As we just round through turns 10A and 10B as we go under the bridge, down the hill. I'm really looking forward to tonight, Dan, to people entering the pits on that feature race, because that's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it is always an interesting one at Road Atlanta. Thankfully, for the most part, you can attack the pit entry at full speed, and by the time you have to back it off, you won't be in a position where it should be affecting too many people around you. As Matthew Boyle will find 2/10 of a second. That's worth 2 positions to go up from 13th to 11th here, with just over 3 minutes left for the drivers in this session. So good stuff there from him. As back at Richie Sanaway, who's unfortunately still back in 23rd at the moment, but if not on a lap, winding up for one here. Definitely winding up for one, I should say. And we'll see what this next lap perhaps can find him. 4 1,000ths of a second will get him a spot into P22, and we'll ride the lap here with Stanaway for this first part. Hopefully the whole lap here is a little wiggle into turn 3 with predicted lap time showing in the top right of the central component of this widget. So needs that lap time to sit below a 119.2 to be on something here. So far so good, Aaron, as we get through that first third of the lap.
Yeah, guys at home watching this, it's a privilege actually to have some real world races in here. Although a lot of people do that, but having someone in the supercars out here doing a lap is something special for us to watch. So we've got a little bird's eye view of what he's seen out there on track as he comes down the main straight here. That time is slipping away ever so slightly. He must have got a tiny bit of a worse exit than previous, but he's still on to eclipse his time. If he can get into the 118s, it's going to shoot him up into P15. So we'll see what he can do to finish this. Braking late into turn 10. This is such a tricky little corner here. It's off camber a little bit. He's going to finish it off. He's going to come across the line. Current lap as that is a 119 flat. That is going to improve his lap time up into P18 with a 119 flat. So good effort from Richie Stanaway there. He's probably only just jumped in here and first time in the GT3s, I'd imagine. He's got probably more important things to be practicing for in his career at the moment.
Okay, there's rounds the first turn there. We're getting his first flying lap. Final flying lap of the session underway Might be able to sneak another one in depending on exactly when that checkered flag call is made. Dylan Burst preparing for one. Is going to let Jamie Christensen through here on the backstretch. See what the Brazilian number 5 can do. P9 at the moment needs a 10th and change to make it up to P8. So going to have to find a decent chunk here. Go into the 18.4s. As he comes around the final turn, is that going to be an improvement? It's time, but not position for Christensen, and he's just been eclipsed by Jack Doohan, so drops back to P10 in the entire process there, as drivers now either getting their final laps underway or going to be getting their final laps done here, as being told. Keep your eye on Richard Stanaway to make a final bit of improvement here in the session. No, unfortunately, that's down, but he's just got enough time to wind up for one more flyer.
That last sector is tough. That as you come, it's just finding your brake markers into turn 10 and getting it to go up that hill with all that horsepower. It's a tough gig. So watch for people in that last sector when they're racing tonight, especially in the little 15-minute heated race we're going to have coming up very shortly. Zach Rattray White, he's in P4 at the moment. He's going to have to bring out something special to eclipse the, and that's the pit entry. Just a bit of a practice. Not even going to attempt to do the whole pit entry. He's going to just walk out of that car as Brad Newman comes across the line. That will be no improvement on his time before, but he must be jumping onto a flyer. Oh, Chewy Kang is back in here tonight. He must have just jumped on, actually, so he's going to round up 25 drivers out there tonight. He's been in the wars, unfortunately, with every single race. We seem to always go to Chewy in the wrong moment, so hopefully he has a good race tonight. Simon Nicholson on screen right now in P5. This is looking good. That first sector was rapid. Oh, he might have just lost it, cooked it a little bit in this last sector. I think he's going to be very, very close to his original time. He's in a 1:18.4 and couldn't find it. A tenth slower there on that lap. Stays in P6.
Checkered flag has flown from race control, so see here the drivers on track get to finish their laps, as Damon Woods might have a little something left right at the end of the session for us. He has to find a 10th, 0.13 almost to really improve on position, so it's going to be close here as he comes over turn 11 into the final corner here, and across the line it'll be an 18.182. It will dispatch, I should say, of Dylan Burst, but 6/1000ths of a second is going to be the margin for pole position. Brad Newman in behind has just improved, taking a bit of slipstream as well. Adam Hughes going to be our next and penultimate driver across the line competitively. Nope, to the pit lane he will come, leaving us with Shane Chancellor in the 87 Ferrari. Last car on track. Is he on for an improvement? We finish the session, or will we be heading to the grid? As it stands, comes to the lane, and yep, coming to the lane. So that is going to be it for qualifying here. Aaron, 25 starters for this 6th round of the ANZ GT3 E-Series.
That was an incredible little qualifying session, short and sharp. I quite like the 15 to 20 minute qualifying session there. As we get to the standings after that, he's not going to be able to get to the standings unless they close off this. So we'll jump on that shortly, but great effort from Damon Woods. He was actually on. I was watching his sectors there. He was on for an 18 flat. That last sector as he come over under the bridge, as it just went dark out on track right now. That's something you don't see in the real world. The sun literally just falling out of the sky. We see our competitors out there gridding up with the lights. Oh, geez. I did no idea that we were going to be under the lights tonight. Did you, Dan?
No, I did not. No, indeed. Time has
that's a surprise for us.
In this one here tonight. And get ready to now walk you through the grid. And indeed, Cody Deeth gets himself another pole position in this championship. Does have only a 6/1000th of a second margin, though, to Damon Woods to line up on this front row here tonight. Dylan Burst, third of our Clips cars here tonight, as you said, indeed, and is there and only just behind the top two. Zach Rattray-White will line up alongside him in P4 for this opening sprint. It will then be Gianni Lutsu next in P5, and he's sharing that third row with Simon Nicholson, first of our PGZ cars. And speaking of PGZ, it was Matthew Dench who was able to get very close to Nicholson's final time as well. He'll start out of P7 with P8 going to Jacob O'Reilly in that 222 machine. And Jack Doohan and Jamie Christensen are going to make it 3 Vermilion cars. They're starting with the 222 of O'Reilly to round out your top 10 here.
Yeah, good to see those boys on the grid there. Matthew Boylett on the grid there in P11. P12 goes to Brad Newman. I wonder how wide that car's going to be tonight, because last round it was a bus. Morello in P13. Beside him is Adam Hughes in the blackout OPR livery there. That's going to look fantastic. Hopefully those guys can have a good race tonight and stay out of some trouble. Thomas Hinz showed some pace, massive pace actually last week, so I look forward to him putting his way through the grid at the moment. Simon Cox beside him there in BMA in P16 as we go back through into 17 and 18 with Stuart Ellis, and we're lucky to have Richie Stanaway on the grid as well, so we'll keep a half an eye on what he's doing in the Lobs Esports livery out there as well. Zaki Vlasblom in P19 and Simon Chadwick make up the top 20. As we go through, we've got 5 more to go through here. We've got Simon Sproul in P21, Greg Barber in the OPR. I know what he's capable of, so he'll be moving his way up the grid as well in P22. Shane Chancellor in P23 in the Aries Motorsport, Autosport I should say, and Nathan Gardner beside him in P24. As we go back to Chewy Kang, and he'll be starting from the rear of the grid tonight, and hopefully he can stay out of trouble and maybe, just maybe, make himself his way up the grid.
You'll be hoping to, as unfortunately we're qualifying there in that session a fair ways off of the rest of the field. But we wait now for the grid timer to elapse, and then we will see a full-length formation lap before we get rolling here for this opening sprint at Road Atlanta. As some revs being kicked, so we should hopefully see that pace car roll off in due course in a couple of seconds. Indeed. Will start to lead the field away at a snail's pace, so that might be because he's jumped the gun there. Yep, iRacing pace car is going to start rolling now as we get this one underway, and we'll watch them all slowly follow suit here down the front straight. It's a nice pedestrian pace car. Actually, it's just sitting on about 60 mile an hour, so 97 k's here, so hopefully we'll get round this formation lap in a reasonable tick. Should be able to maintain that pace the entire way around, which always helps.
I'm looking forward to this. I actually look forward to how they grid up here and how they go around here, because this track is even tight when you're going behind a safety car. So as you see, no one's going through there too wide, even on the formation lap. You'll see them as they come down to the bottom of the straight. At the end of the straight, they're going to pack themselves up very, very tight, because the grid will be released probably at this well before the start-finish line, before the apex of the last turn. So we're going to see the people at the front get an absolute jump away, and the guys at the back are going to be left napping, unfortunately. And that's just the layout of this circuit. So you've got to have your wits about you as we see these silhouettes go down this little tiny little back straight, I guess you'd call it, before they turn a couple of corners, going down the main straight. It's weird to see Porsches a little bit further back at the moment, Dan. Like, we've got them in P6 and P7. Lamborghinis, Audis and Ferraris sort of take up the front three grid.
Yeah, our Porsche drivers, as said, Nicholson and Dench, the first two there on this grid tonight. And then you've got Matthew Boylett, Brad Newman, Marina Morella, Adam Hughes all lined up in a Porsche block from 11th through 14th. The next two going to be in Ellis and Stanaway. Sproul, Barber are going to be the last two paired at the back of the field. So Porsches, I think, have the numbers, but they're not quite the ultimate pace setters, it would appear. Of course, Cody Death, still our lone driver in a Lamborghini. The Audi looking potent in the hands of Woods and Burst. And the Ferrari, no surprises there once again, looking particularly effective, although it too is spread throughout the field. Of course. So, pace car comes under the bridge here at turn 11 and about to give the race into the hands of Cody Death for this opening sprint for round number 6 of the ANZ GT3 E-Series National Championship. We get the green right through turn 12. Death will put the hammer down. We get this race underway, and it's going to be Burst challenging for P2 into turn 1 as Woods hung up on the high side as we make this first turn to the right.
Yeah, very well done from these guys. Is that right-hander? But we're going to have 3 wide in the background here. I think Jamie Christensen and Matthew Dench maybe is involved in that, and a Lobs Esport guy as well, as they come through down to the S's. Oh, very well done. We've got a car out on the weeds as well, but everyone seems to be getting through very gentlemanly in this little 15-minute race to the grid. No real movers and shakers, really, but I'm looking forward to seeing what these prancing horses, these Ferraris, can do in a straight line behind some of these cars at the front.
Watching in the mid-packet, Thomas Hins's rear end is a little dinted, and Stuart Ellis is the car behind at the moment. Hopefully that's not as straightforward as that description would suggest, but they work their way down the back straight. We're already still packed up here. Half a second between Deeth and Burst right at the front, but then it's absolutely nothing for several of these drivers, and it's starting here. Jack Dewar, Matthew Boylett and Brad Newman. Our first battle really here for 8th place. Boylett tried to hang around the outside of Dewar, who shut the door as they made their way through 10B. Newman will take full advantage of that and get up the inside, heading into turn 12, and Boylett will yield a little bit there, with Christensen looking for a piece of the pie. Has to back out though as we make the run to turn 1 here on this second flying lap. It brings O'Reilly into the equation as well in this battle pack to make it 5 cars, starting with P8. Try and settle in now for this second lap as tyres come up to temperature and build pace here round Road Atlanta. Gap still just, nope, sorry, it's actually it was half a second. It's now down to 1/10 and change. Cody Deeth's had a bit of a rough run possibly at the bottom of the S's. Yeah, ran it wide at turn 5 on the way out. Had to back out big time, and that's allowed Dylan Burst to get some nice old catch-up, but this is now where the train's forming here in the middle of the field. Breakaway of 7 cars at the front.
I was just looking, I didn't know what happened to Damon Woods there. He's gone from P2 back to P3. We'll have to find out what happened there just before, but that Jack Doohan train that we're talking about with Brad Newman and people behind him, I bet you he's having flashbacks of last round, Brad Newman, because he has got an absolute car park behind him at the moment. So we'll see how good his defence is in over this 15 minutes. But yeah, there is a lot of angry cars behind him. I'm just seeing if there's Thomas Hins is one of them, and he won't want to be stuck there again for a long period of time. Oh, so. Oh, there we go.
That checks out.
That is a battle for ninth, down to 25th. That is amazing to watch. So we'll keep an eye on what's going on there. Up the front, who we got here at the moment? But Dylan Burst, he is flying at the moment. He's done a 1:18.3, nearly 2/10 quicker than anyone else out in the field. So he's found some pace in that Audi R8 and trying to hunt down this Lamborghini Hurricane of his teammate. He's played rear gunner for most of the championship. Maybe tonight's his night. He might want to take it from Cody Deeth quicker than later. So we'll see how that battle goes out. But yeah, this train, I guess you could just say from P1 down to P25 there's a battle.
It's very much, yes, 2 distinct battles at this stage in the race, with the way that the Doohan on back fighting to secure that 8th place, basically split them off from the rest, well, the front runners, who have been a little bit more single file for this one as they get that second lap complete, third lap underway. And watching here as Dylan Burst tries to hit the pressure on Cody Deeth. It'll be important to watch here as they make their way down the S's, because it was down at the bottom, turn 5, where Deeth made his mistake on lap 2 that allowed the gap to massively close. As we're going to go back to a replay, lap 1. This is what I saw the aftermath of here. Oh dear, big braking application early from Thomas Inns. Twin turn 6 as, oh my word, Matthew Dench is returned into a cannonball. Is there another car parked at the back of the track?
And that's at the back there. That's Chewy Kang had to obviously didn't see him. His lights weren't working or something at the back there, but I don't know what happened.
The safety car has been deployed. We'll need one,
but we'll get the replay shortly.
This race has been neutralised by the first deployment of the safety car that we've seen in quite some time. I'm just trying to piece it together myself, and it's actually entirely self-inflicted, if you can believe it.
Wow, yeah, I'm just looking at it now. Hopefully we can get that shortly. Hey, what this has done at the front of the field, because Dylan Burst was going to pressure Cody Deeth, I can tell you. That Audi was rapid. So here we go. He's coming through. That's turn 5, I think, and he's just got it.
Yep.
Oh, wow. And how it didn't take out the whole field, I have no idea. You can't hold your brakes when you're upside down.
Yeah, Matthew Bullitt is the luckiest driver of that pack. The car quite literally flying over his front bonnet. But the car, yeah, it's bottom out something fierce over the exit curb at turn 5. And at that point, unfortunately for Matthew Dench, he's a passenger in his own race car, which is not something anyone particularly likes to. So as we go on board with Bullitt and watch this here, so we can see Dench actually too far ahead. So he's probably got yellow flags. Oh, sorry, right in front of him. There we go. Bang. Hello. Goodbye.
It's lucky it's virtual. That's all I'm going to say there. Because real world accident like that, this race would be red flagged and we'd be all going home right now. Yeah, we'll get on board with Chewy Kang here as well, because he came through here and it must have been just over this rise here. He didn't see, yeah, and he's. I can't believe he took the left lane there, but he did it, and he got through unscathed. So. Well done to you, Chewy. You've made up a position into P24, and let's one at a time. That's all we can do. Yellow flags in a 15-minute race sort of does really neutralise this race, and we're probably only going to get 10 laps if we're lucky out of this, depending on how long the safety car goes. I was just making the comment earlier about Dylan Burst's pace. He is so quick at the moment out there. So. With this next little 5 laps to go, keep an eye on Dylan Burst at the front there. I'm expecting him to have a number 1 on the front of that shortly. When he, I don't know when he's going to make the overtake, but through turn 5, he is so much quicker than Cody Deeth at the moment. And Damon Woods is now back in this battle pack as well. So all reinvigorated and ready to go green racing again by the looks of it.
Yeah, he is indeed. As he approaches turn 10A, he's been given control of the restart. This one here maintains speed through 10B, so going to wait a little longer, and we come up towards the bridge. So as we start to roll over the hill, on the top of the hill, he'll drop the hammer. The green flags fly once again. 7 minutes and change left in this opening sprint at pack P7 now on back, given a second chance to get into the action here right at the front of the field. It will be Deeth who leads them round turn 1. No pressure here at this stage so far, but had one moment which nearly cost him the position. Is further on back in the field, you've got one of the OPR cars. It's Sam Sproul challenging Simon Cox in behind. Richie Stanaway there as well. They make it through single file after deciding maybe a little bit of caution, warm things back up before we get stuck into the real aggressive racing here.
Normally at a restart you would be on the radio and you'd tell your teammate, I'm going to go in 3, 2, 1. I can tell you Cody Deeth would not have been doing that over the radio after that restart. I'd imagine that he wants to get any sort of slight advantage he can get over Dylan Burst at the moment, and over Damon Woods as well. So that's an Eclipse 1, 2, 3 at the moment, with a couple of Vermilion drivers behind there in the Ferraris and Porsches trying to, in 2 Ferraris trying to chase them down. And I don't think they have the pace tonight, unfortunately, to catch these guys. They just seem to have that little edge around this track, and that's all you need. A tenth is all you need to be miles ahead of the rest of your competition. Who we're on board with at the moment? That's at the front as we go through. Everyone's pretty much single file as we go through. And that's Jack Doohan at the moment. He's up into P7. Jesus, good to have a real world race driver here with us tonight. I mean, not just any race driver. Like, he's the reserve driver for Alpine F1 team. So we're in royal company, if you ask me. He's only 21 years old and he's here racing under the Doing OK colours. His own team that he's joined forces with Vermilion Motorsport. So massive to have him on board. Oh, as we got someone with a slowdown. That's there's issues in the background with Brad Newman. That car got a little bit loose. Oh no, who is that around at the moment? Is that Jacob O'Reilly? I think it is Jacob O'Reilly. Hopefully he can get that car going, but that's going to be a... I shouldn't have turned up for this little feature, a little short race for Jacob O'Reilly. We'll see what actually happened there. That car's going very slow at the moment in the back there, but for whatever reason, Brad Newman got, we just caught a glimpse of it going 2 wide, nearly 3 wide into some of those corners. Oh, and we're just back on the action now as well. And that's Gianna Lutsu. Oh, no, it's not. Who's that at the front of this little field here? And P10.
Christensen versus Boyle, the two cars on
the
screen here. Yeah, fighting over 8th place at the moment here is then around the outside at turn 1. Boyle tried to hang on to it. He loses it though. The number 8, he goes around over the hill at turn 2. He thankfully will slide off the racing line and be able to rejoin the track at his own volition there. But it's another Porsche going around.
No, there's more.
Simon
There's
Cox,
more
Sam
ahead of him.
Sproul, exit of turn 3. Pair of them coming around now. Let's have a quick look. Oh, Cox and Sproul side by side, and looks like they've got a pinch point moment there. Now, a lot of cars coming unstuck as Zach Vlasbom's come unstuck.
Wow.
57 off the exit of turn 5. Yep.
It is all happening.
Going to go a couple of replays here. Split screen. So starting with Brad New in the lap 7, so the lap of 4. Yep,
So
runs it wide and hits the
Wow.
fence. He does get the fence. So yep, explains a lot there. That's why you lose the speed. That's another Porsche losing speed, momentum, and almost dying at turn 5. O'Reilly then just gets a really awful lean on, and the contact sends his car doing pirouettes on the flat.
Yeah,
And then we've had-
Okay.
And yes, indeed, not at all. And then we've had Boyle clash with Christensen, Cox and Sproul come together, and then Vlasbom will weigh himself also on the exit of turn 5. So it's like the moral of the story for tonight as we're going here is these cars, there is a right way and a very easy way to get it wrong there at turn 5, but for what is set to be some of the fastest GT3 drivers in the country, we'll have a look here at Sproul and Cox. The Boyle already off, and then just a case of, I'd have to say Cox is there and the door just is shut. There's not much more you can do to
There's just enough
back
room
it
to
out.
get 2 cars through there, and you need to literally have a teammate there or someone that's willing to race with you through there, because any touch and you're both around, as you saw there, wheel-to-wheel contact. Battle for first. Yeah, it's heating up all the way back to 7th. This is battle for first at the moment. So we've got 2 minutes left on the clock. They should get this lap and the next one done, I suspect. We won't see the white flag here, but we'll probably see it next lap, as Cody Deeth has command, and he's doing it pretty easy now. He's got the lap times down to 118.2. Dylan Burst is matching lap times with him, and Damon Woods is with him as well. But the boys behind him, Zach Retro White and Gianna Lutsu, are just losing a little bit of momentum in there behind them, and they're doing okay. Vermilion Esports team.
And it's on for P2 at the moment as well, whilst we're looking further on down the order at Nicholson there with Doohan behind, because Damon Woods has just applied a bit of a blowtorch to the back bumper of Dylan Burst, who's still keeping Cody Deeth honest at the same time here. So your top 3, and I've heard it said before that whilst Damon here is officially racing under his Door Esports colours tonight, he is very much also part of Eclipse Sim Sports. So this is, as you said, during qualifying, very much an Eclipse 1, 2, 3 for all intents and purposes here at this stage. We'll get the white flag at this end of lap 10, so it will be an 11-lap sprint. They have broken away as, there we go, headlight flash in addition to the pressure from pace for Damon Woods. The question is, how will these 3 go about it here in this final lap? I presume the answer will be every man to himself, so long as you don't absolutely obliterate each other. That's indeed confirmation that the white flag is out there at the start-finish line for these drivers to get this final lap underway. Further on back, who was that there? Matthew Boyle on the charge, trying to get through this field. Aggressively trying to get past that.
Oh, wow.
Who's that? Is that Chukang out in the
Chukang.
grass as a result. You then got Gardner and O'Reilly trying to come through as well. There's O'Reilly's second time tag. And it's also taking Nathan Gardner with him as well.
Oh, O'Reilly will be very disappointed in that, and I'm surprised he didn't just jump out of that car and walk away. So he's got the presence of mind not to bring out a safety car for the last little bit of it, but that car is toast. As we go back to the front of this field, Cody Deeth pretty much has it under control, but this little fight here for P2, we might stay with it for the rest of this. There's only one place he can really overtake him. He can either go on the outside here at turn 10 and try and set himself up for 10B, or send it. Massive lunge up the inside here, and maybe a bit of door rubbing, but he's a fair way back. I don't think it's going to happen, and he's blocked off as well. Dylan Burst is blocked off. Damon Woods there, and we're going to see the Cody Deeth, come through for another win. We see it all the time. He's topped it in the qualifying chart, and now he's going to come through for a race win. Cody Deeth wins our 15-minute race to the grid as Dylan Burst goes off into the weeds to finish it off in P2. And as for the going down the order here, that's P9, P10, but Brad Newman comes in for P10 to round it up there. It's a short, sharp little race with a safety car in the middle of it. Hopefully we don't see too much of that in the feature. And Chewy Kang made up a few spots there. He'd be up in 21st, I think. No, 19th. He'll finish that one after a bit of misfortune for everyone else around him. Good on for him. And here comes this sick, wounded Jacob O'Reilly in the 222 machine, and the rear. I can tell you there's supposed to be a spoiler on the back of that car, but not tonight for the Ferrari. Oh, okay, we might... he's going to come across the line backwards. And I think that's just a representation of how his night's actually gone, to be honest, as Jacob comes across the line there.
Yeah, Zach Vlasbaum also going to come across the line there. That will end the race results for this opening sprint, and making for a bit of an exciting time there with the safety car coming our way as we'll look at those official results now quickly on the board as Cody Deeth makes it a 3/10th win from Dylan Burst. Half a second covering your top three with Damon Woods in behind, with then Racho White, Liutsu, Nicholson, Doohan, Christensen, Hughes and Newman around at your top 10 there, with gaps plenty tight between them all. But once again, we'll bring Cody Deeth into the commentary booth for this quick post-race chat. And once again, Cody, 100% record is still on the up. That safety car, though, you had to give yourself a bit of a reset there. How was that, managing that one?
Yeah, it was interesting. The first corner was a bit sketchy with the cold tyres after they did their heat cycle. So it was a bit slippery for the first lap or so, but then tyres started to heat up and I got in the groove and managed to drive away.
We're also seeing a lot of cars struggling with the corner at the turn 5 bottom of the S's. The exit curb seeming to bite a bit harder than normal tonight. Any issues with that at all, or is that just a case of where it'll be managing that corner, getting your line right, and being okay as far as what that opening race has suggested for you?
Yeah, I'm having a bit of an issue sometimes if I miss the line by a little bit, where the car just pogos a bit and bottoms out, and it can be quite scary if you don't back out of it in time, and it can sometimes spit you off into the wall, but as long as you're careful, it's okay.
Well, fingers crossed in that case for you and everyone else out there for the feature. Aaron, any words for Cody before we let him go to reset for this feature coming up in just a couple of seconds?
Yeah, KD, Dylan Burst had pace, mate. I think that safety car came out just at the right time for you, to be honest, to reset before going out there. Your teammates, are they pushing you along?
Oh yeah, they're doing an awesome job. Just 1, 2, 3 at the moment, so try and keep it up for the next race. But yeah, we're all doing a pretty good job.
Well, good luck with the race, Cody. It's good to see you back and good to see you on top. It's great to see someone at the top of the peaks of the power. So get out there, show us what you got for the feature.
Cheers, though, mate. Missed your voice.
Thanks, mate.
Have a good one.
Look here at the grid. It is, though, of course, the results from race 1 as they cross the line. So as we rolled through them earlier, we'll see him here once again. So Deeth with another pole position, of course, with Burst now to his outside for this opening start. Can he hold on to P2, unlike what happened to Damon Woods, where they got the jump on the 56, and that saw Damon go down a spot straight off the start of that opening sprint. Racho White will be to his outside as he started and finished that opening sprint. Same thing for Gianni Liutsu in behind on row 3, started 5th, finished 5th and will share that spot with that row with Simon Nicholson. And likewise, another car that didn't need to move much of a muscle in that one. Jack Doohan, though, did make up some spots. He'll improve himself to a P7 starting position. Same for Jamie Christensen, up 2 to start in P8. So actually bring row 5 forward to row 4. One of the biggest movers here in the front half of the field. 5 spots gained for Adam Hughes to get himself inside the top 10 there late on in the piece, and we're sharing that top 10 in particular with Brad Newman as well.
Row 6 of the grid, we got Morella. He I think he started P11 in the last race as well. Thomas Hin's in there beside him. He's got pace. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do during this race. As we move down the field at the moment, we got in P13 Richie Stanaway made up a few positions as well. Stuart Ellis in there beside him. He'll be loving that in beside Richie Stanaway there at the moment. In the 9.5 Sim Sports, Simon Chadwick in P15. Greg Barber in one of the other Blackout OPRs in P16. Those guys have been chipping away at it tonight. Shane there in P17. Matthew Boylett and the Dynamic Sim Sports entry in P18. As we move down to the row 10, Chewy Kang made himself up, I think, 6 positions in that one to be P19. Simon Cox there beside him in the BMA in P20 to round up that top 20 position. Simon Sproul back there in 21. These are the guys that wish they stayed out a bit of a trouble here. So privateer Nathan Gardner there in P22. As we get to the back of the grid here, we got P23, I think, is Jacob O'Reilly, and I don't want to be in a chat or in the same radio booth as him at the moment, because he'd be very fired up. Zachary Vlasblom beside him, they're good teammates, so they'll work together as they go through. And right at the back there, Matthew Dench found himself in all sorts of trouble. He is going to be rapid tonight. We'll watch him hopefully make his way up a few positions as well. But at the front of that grid, that's looking spicy. We got Cody Deeth, Dylan Burst, Damon Woods, with a couple of Vermilion guys in behind him, and that Simon Nicholson could prove himself tonight and put himself up front there, maybe into a P3 if he's lucky.
Gonna have his work cut out for him though to be able to do it. That opening sprint was a bit of an indication that perhaps it might be a lot of work to be able to do it as well, with the fact that a lot of our drivers at the front of the field didn't really swap spots throughout that race. It really was just about the only major exchange, and Dench's retirement, of course, notwithstanding, was when Dylan Burst in behind Cody Deeth got the jump on Damon Woods. The roles are now therefore reversed, as it with Damon Woods inside and behind of Cody Deeth. Can he get the jump on Dylan Burst to the outside? Pace car pulls in off of turn 11 as we get ready to hand control. Deeth, he goes straight away, and we get the green flag for the feature race, but Burst will cut across and take the racing line in behind. It stacks up though further back. So top 5 single file here, as there we go, some moves already. Cars defending 3 wide though in the mid pack, as there's one of the cars in the grass and around goes. It's Nicholson going backwards in the PG's 808. That's a huge stack up.
We'll have to unpack that, but it's a Kmart car park there at the moment. In the back there, Richie Stanaway got through it, but I think Matthew Boylett's car is, that is not good. I don't think he'll have to retire that car, I'd imagine. Simon Cox was also involved, I think, but wow, what a start! I was expecting that at the start of the other race, and it's all just imploded. As we're still going green flag racing, so I'm quite surprised with that. Biggest mover out there, Chewy Kang, has made himself up into P15, so he'll be happy about that. And I think Doohan was the start of that issue. Yeah, he's back down to P19.
We're not going to green all that long. It means that we are going to be done, as unfortunately I'm hearing in the background Simon Nicholson inadvertently towing without permission, so that might just mean that the PGZ 08 night is done.
I mean, as far as commentators' curses go, I take full responsibility of that for Simon. I apologise.
Alright, well, track will be cleared. The safety car picks up our leads. We're going to try and, unpack this one here. So we've got ourselves Lutzer and Nicholson we're focusing on here. You've got Rattray White in front, and then you've got everything on behind. But so looks to the inside, can't get to the inside, so it's tagged with Gianni Lutzer, and just the Porsche unloaded, it seems, on cold tyres. Oh, Boylett and Stuart Ellis and Simon Chadwick. As then everyone else stacks it. You've got, cars in the grass, like Ellis there, I think. No, that's Boylett's car. And terminally damaged, can't even turn right at all. So he tried.
It's unfortunate for some of these drivers out there. Just got wrong place at the wrong time, unfortunately, for most of these guys. Ellis didn't do much wrong there. He just got a little bit of a tap. Oh, not Ellis, sorry. That was Simon Nicholson. Just got a tiny contact and put him onto the inside of the fence and pinballed him back in front of guys. So always exciting racing here in Atlanta, but yeah, that's unfortunate for a lot of drivers out there tonight.
Wait and see if that means there's anything that comes of it from the race control team, since they'll try and unpack that one. We're on board again with Nicholson to have another look at this one. So tried to go to the inside of Rachel White, didn't get there. He's right on the gearbox, and then unfortunately the angle doesn't really tell us a huge amount, but it doesn't really look like he was wide or anything. As both the Dynamic Sim Sports cars tag him on both ends to add insult to injury. And then for Nicholson, tried to drive the car back, but couldn't even get the car to go left in his case. So that was as Nicholson has been permitted to rejoin the race. So we're coming out in 24th place, and crucially, he's actually still on the lead lap with the timing of his toe. So did have to wait 2 minutes 45 seconds. I'm also hearing there's some stuff happening in the background, potentially with drivers passing under yellow in the mid-pack. Yeah.
Well, that's luckily for us, we don't have to worry about that too much. We can let the race control look after all those things. That's why they get the big bucks, to look after the race at the moment. We'll probably go one more lap of yellow here, I'd imagine, just while they get the. Look at that! That is just Christmas shopping at the Big W. Absolute car park, just cars everywhere. There's nothing much to say about that, is it, Dan? It just happens at short little racetracks like this.
Yeah, it is a case of depending on where you are in the pack and exactly when it happens, you can just be put in the worst possible position. As we are getting confirmation here that at the end of lap 3 we will be going green, so it'll be about 38 or so minutes probably by the time we go racing here or thereabouts. So we are still a little ways off making it on the fuel that they can possibly put in the cars. And speaking of bits and pieces such as the weather, it's a pretty pleasant day, it seems, or I should say pleasant night really, more than anything else here at Road Atlanta for this one tonight. 22 air, 23 track with some minor cloud cover, no sign of rain anywhere near the circuit, and some fairly calm but not insignificant winds from the north, which means that we're actually getting a headwind down the back straight. So that will be important, should give a little benefit to the cars that are in behind the leaders, since it will magnify the benefit of the tow. At least it should.
We did see last race at Laguna Seca that we saw Zach Rattray White in a Ferrari, and I think another Ferrari actually go well over the 30 minutes of race fuel. So if we do unfortunately get another safety car, and we do have a few laps under safety car, it could be possible for someone to save and make it without pitting. It's tough. It's a tough ask, I know, Dan. I mean, it's but it could happen, and which could bring a bit of strategy into it as well.
I mean, look, I'll wait to see if I'm proven wrong. I don't think that's possible yet. I think you'd need at least 3, if not possibly 4 safety cars to even entertain the possibility of doing that, because you can see here this opening safety car has only consumed about 6 minutes of racing time.
Yep.
So, and you are still burning fuel, of course. It's not a complete zero, but we'll talk about that kind of stuff later on, because Cody Deeth now has control of the race restart, and he waits under the bridge. He's going to wait a little later. Coming towards the pit entry, he'll put the hammer down, and he's going to get a bit of a gap to Dylan Burse, who's now stacking up Damon Woods as the green flags fly here once again. Lap 4 gets underway for this ANZ ESeries GT3 National Championship. We've got plenty of side-by-side looks in towards turn one. We've got cars trying to come through the field. We've got cars
we have
fixed
issues
and
in the
coming
background.
and back out on circuit. And you see, oh no, Stuart Ellis and Chadwick way
again.
off. Simon Cox is around on the inside of turn 3. Gets it going. Thankfully offline means it won't affect anyone. How have Chadwick and Ellis ended up together? Oh, it's a 3-wide deal into turn 1.
With Simon Chadwick just showing a little bit more pace than the guys at the back there, and just found himself side by side with Sprouse. So a bit unfortunate there as we on board here with Gianni Lutsu in P5, chasing down his teammate Zach Retro White, and they've already lost a bit of time on these leaders at the moment there. That Ferrari's fast enough to go down the straight and catch him a little bit, but oh yeah, there's the contact in the replay. Unfortunately, as we saw that racecraft car go around. Going back to live pictures here at the moment with back with Gianni Lutsu again in that Ferrari. So those cars are so quick in a straight line. They seem to get their pace back, but those Audis, man, they are super quick through pretty much turn 1 up to turn 5. It's unbelievable to see that pace.
Can confirm, as Bruce J. Kennedy asking the question, it was indeed a slowdown penalty, presumably picked up at turn 10A or 10B. I'm going to have a quick look to see if I can find it. He was fighting with Christensen he's cut across the apex inside the lines there, which should do it, and that's meant he bailed out hard down the start finish. That's who we saw, if you were seeing it at least, flash up on the inside of the start finish track. As we're hearing now over the radio that the number 24 of Richie Stanaway is getting a 5-second post-race penalty for incorrect application of the restart procedure. So I'm going to presume that means something along the lines of getting an overtake done before the start-finish line?
I'd imagine so. I'd imagine he's got something done before then, because he's up into P9 at the moment. He'll have to do a lot of work to get a 5-second gap over this field. Otherwise, you'll be in right at the back of the field. It's so close at the moment. Oh, and that's Adam Hughes around. Oh, that's big. In the blackout entry, the OPR's number 95. I don't know if he did it by himself. I sort of wasn't watching what was going on there. That's what I should be doing the whole time, but I wasn't for that split second.
And we're going to get a replay of the lines there for various drivers. And here comes Adam Hughes on the inside. And yep,
well, that'll do
well over the white line. You can straddle the curb, but you need to keep a little something in there. Now, I will admit, I've had a look at the restart for car 24, Richie Stanaway. I can't quite make sense of what he's done that's wrong. He hasn't passed anyone over the hill before the start-finish line. They're all roughly in single file formation. But that's something to worry about. As while we've been worrying about all things miraculous in the back of the pack, Cody Deeth has had another moment at turn 5 and surrendered the race lead to Dylan Burst, and P2 has gone to Damon Woods rather than Deeth. Man, turn 5 has taken another car up and over the curb on exit and actually brushed the wall, just like Brad Newman did in race 1.
Oh, it's big contact too. Let's get this replay. Hopefully we've got that coming up now, but this is Hughesy that we saw, and he's just on the inside there and got spun onto the inside. That's Richie Stanaway on the outside of him, and he's exited. And hopefully we get a little replay of this Cody Deeth. And so I'm pretty sure he touched the wall at turn 5.
That he did. We've got a brush on there, which thankfully, being soft tyre bundling, has let him get away. But it's another car running. Now, we'll see here. It looks all fine there through the apex, and it just gets over the curb and it runs wide.
He got
now, thankfully, thankfully fairly straight, but again, that's another car not seemingly out of control and just unable to get through turn 5. And we heard Cody explain it in that little between races interview that he was a little concerned that it might happen again, or it might happen, and that has paid out exactly as he feared, that the car bottoms out, compressing under the load that they put through the cars at that corner, and you're just losing all control as the ground and the floor scrapes the ground. As meanwhile, further back, Nicholson on the recovery drive to the inside of Chu Kang will get that done with not so much fuss, despite Kang's perhaps efforts there to get a nice tidy exit. But we'll have to check back in later. So critically for Nicholson, up from second last after coming back out of the pits in P24 to P16. Million-dollar question will be, did he make sure to put a little splash of fuel in the car to help himself out on the mileage there? As back at the front of the field, it is a top 5 train group that has broken away this time round. Zach Racho White and Gianni Lutsu picking with our Eclipse top 3.
That Cody Deeth must have damage. Like, to hit that wall that hard, he must have some damage on that right-hand corner of that vehicle. I'm trying to look at it in more detail, but can't see it. But he's going to be a bit of walking wounded or racing wounded until they come in for their pit stops, which technically people could come in after this lap and make it to the end. But again, it's probably not the ideal strategy. But once you're in a train this long, it's sometimes you want to get out from behind people. We saw that penalty come up for Richie Stanaway. He's got 5 seconds on his race time. If he was to serve it now, it'll put him down into P14. So not where he wants to be, behind Jack Doohan as well, if he had to go back to there. Oh, was that a bit of contact we just saw from the number 20? Nathan Gardner was there. And he's just got Greg Barber's just got past him as well. So that's all positions for P22 in this race at the moment. We've only had one retirement. Simon Chadwick has retired. So 24 cars on the grid, and they're battling for P23, which is pretty cool to watch. As up the front here, these Eclipse boys are racing hard. I'd imagine they'll all come in together for their pit stop, and it'll be up to the guys behind to do what they're going to do. Oh, here we are. This is on board again with Cody Deeth by the looks of it. Oh, he had to back out of it because he was destined for that outside wall. So could have some damage. I'd imagine that car will not have the aero balance that it would possibly need to get around here. We did see in the first race, we thought it was just the Porsches that were bottoming out again. So it just shows it's everyone's even playing field at the moment for everyone. If you get it a little bit wrong there, you're going to go into the weeds, and I'm surprised he even held on to it. It just shows how good of a driver he actually is. Race controls just come across with car number 8. No further action. Racing into the turn 1, lap 1. That was that big car park that we saw at the start of this race. We brought out the safety car, but it seems to be going right now. So we've got 29 minutes left in this race. People are starting to find their feet, find their rhythm as the temperatures all come up to their norms. Movers at the moment, I'm going to go back to him. Chu Kang is actually up into P16, so see how he goes through tonight as well. We might just put a camera on turn 5, should we? And just sit it there for the rest of the night.
Yeah, probably going to need one at this stage. And yeah, I think Gianni Lutsu, the 58 machine, the other car, noted in that incident report. I think a bit lucky to get away with that one there, given that he did turn down from what we saw briefly on Nicholson. So, nevertheless, the racing goes on. Nicholson already up to P14 and continuing to try and cut through the field, though he's got 4.8 seconds to catch the next pack of cars. As once again, lo and behold, we find a pack amongst the field, and it's going to have Brad Newman at the head of the group. So this is the pack in front of Nicholson. He's going to be the next car that will look to be sold.
It's the Mobs bus up the front.
I didn't hear a report over the radio that we have the cars off at turn 3, but
I don't think that's accurate.
I'm not sure what that was, because I've just cycled around and yeah, the track was cleared the end. Yeah, so alas, we would keep on racing, and they're on board with Matthew Dench, if I'm not mistaken, in P11. So he's in amongst that pack, indeed it is. We'll pick him up here outboard rather than onboard. as he's trying to get past Jacob O'Reilly, who's also been cutting his way through the field to recover from his late race damage in race 1, and it makes them the 2 drivers who have gained the most places in this race so far tonight. The only 2 so far in the double digits as well, the boot.
Yeah, good racing from, we knew, well, Jacob O'Reilly in that first race had an absolute shocker, so he's just trying to make hay while he can at the moment. We've got probably about 10 minutes before we see, or maybe 5 minutes before we start seeing our first pit stops for tonight, but yeah, good drive from Matty Dench and Jacob O'Reilly, which are sitting P10 and P11 respectively. That's Adam Hughes, I think. I've seen something in the background involving Hughesy. It's not Boylett, is it?
And
Who was that?
Stuart,
That was just
Stuart Ellis. It is Adam Hughes.
Oh, it's Ellis.
Adam Hughes indeed the one that gets tagged, and it's Stuart Ellis who's done the tagging there. So the Blackout OPR 95 does a good little 360 and rejoins via the old club course extension on that front straightaway. So it's definitely been walking wounded, as it were, for him. We get back to live pictures and we'll go on board with Marino Morello, looking to try and close up on Brad Newman down this long back straightaway here once again, but can't get close enough, so stay in the line once more. Make the way over turns 10A, 10B and 11. Shane Chancellor Chukang going to switch positions down the straight for P16, but Kang has got something on the defense. Cheese has been going back and forth between the 2 of them for the past half lap or so, as they're going to go side by side, and Kang just brushing up against the outside of the inside, I should say, of the Aries Autosport Ferrari in front of him there. Thankfully, both of them are alive and will continue on.
That's exactly right. Alive is a good thing. Those guys will be, they should change their last names to Brown at the moment. Because the touch there, and they should have went off as they come up here into turn 5, and hopefully they get through there, right, and they can get back into a rhythm. Oh, as I say that, Shane just went a little bit wide there as well at turn 5, so Chewy's going to try and duck up the inside. Wow, this is some great race at the back of the grid here for position 16. They've still got a lot of racing ahead of them. They've got 25 minutes of racing to go.
Kang, though, makes an absolute meal out of the apex at turn 7. Now going to be very vulnerable to Simon Cox. He's going to try and make his way back forward as well as we build up speed towards 10A, 10B. There's apparently 2 turns on this back straight that officially count for numbering naming. Don't blame me. It's American cornering schemes as Kang, for half a second there, I thought might have been in too hot, but will get away with pulling that one up.
He was too hot. That was he braked as late as he possibly could, and the thing got twitchy, but he kept it there. But he's gonna find it really hard to keep Simon Cox behind him for the next lap, I'd imagine.
If he hits his marks, he might get a chance to get sucked along with it. As Matthew Boylett's going to be the first car to take a scheduled pit stop in this race. So going to cut this one slightly short of perfectly in half. Is the number 80 machine. We'll see if that works for him, as the general preferred strategy has been to run as long as you can at the back of the group. Jack Doolan's just gotten up the inside of Matthew Dench, but he hadn't got the move done, so it's going to be a drag race now down towards 10A, 10B, and everyone's lined up. Well, they were on the left side of the track. They'll start drifting across to the middle, so Doolan and Dench both going to try and get a piece of the draft, but the Ferrari with the legs in a straight line. Well. Dench still not giving it up, though. Looks to the middle of the road to try and have that inside for 10A. Can he cross over to the inside for 10B? He will get to the inside. And there's a brush across and a spin. Doolan gets into the back of him, as a car also will be Vlaspom, I think. As Cody Deep bails out of the lead of the
pits. But that Jack Doolan little move there, questionable, I'd imagine. Not much room there on the outside or on the inside as you go through the turn 10B, so hopefully we get a replay of what actually happened there, but one of those drivers are going to find themselves in a little bit of trouble. I don't think it was a racing incident at all. So we see Doohan on the outside that becomes the inside, gets a nudge, and
Takes him out. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
says,
That's exactly what that is.
yeah, sorry mate, see you later. I had enough of that. I want to be up at the front here. So he might be, I'd imagine, seeing a penalty coming shortly for young Jack.
It's definitely disappointing to say the least, because I mean, yeah, bring him in as a guest driver for the event, and yes, he had gotten tagged as part of the back and forth there. Bench now in the pits with extended repairs, it seems, as more cars will peel into the pit lanes. So there we go. Rattray White, Lutzu, Christensen all go in together. They're also joined by Stanaway and O'Reilly and Doohan further on back as well. So it's Burson Woods, your top two uninterrupted. Now Brad Newman leads Marino Morella around for third place in this race, now that people are coming in early. Nicholson up to P5 and still though 5.5 seconds off the back of Morella. So cut through the field critically. Cody Deeth, first car out to have done a stop as we try and figure out things, but he's got Greg Barber just in front of him. He's going to have to dispatch to not lose too much time to the top two, still out in clean air.
Saw something interesting come through at race control. Car 64 and 14, we were just on there before, that was Jack Doohan. No further action, insufficient space given turn 2 lap 4, so that's something earlier. So Jack's been in the wars by the looks of this.
Yep. Back lap 2 again was under safety car. So did they need turn?
So that's interesting.
Oh yeah, sorry, turn 2. Yeah, no, my bad. I saw turn and thought we were regarding lap first. So yeah. Jack got up the inside, which becomes the outside up over the hill into the S's, and of Simon Cox on the restart. The outside of turn 1, inside for turn 2. They bounce once, and then a second tag gets both cars loose and sends Cox around. I think, yeah, that is fair enough of a call there from race control on that one.
They're a little bit behind the 8 ball. There must be lots of stuff going out there at the moment.
Rattray White has just gotten together with Greg Barber trying to chase down Cody Deeth. And it's sent the 17 off into the weeds at turn 1, and well, the 22 as well, I should say, in all of that. That's sent him tumbling down the order a couple of seconds and spots in the process.
So this must be the
lap 4 restart with Cox and Doohan.
Oh, wow, okay. A few hot heads out there, actually, from racing tonight. It is under lights and a lot of horsepower underneath them and a lot of great drivers. So everyone's pretty competitive. It's just the standard of racing might need to be touched up a little bit with these drivers. So let's jump on a replay with Zach Rattray White. So he was chasing down the leaders. He was trying to make some time up. There's one of the blackout OPR cars on the outside. Oh, and just he's both lucky to come out of that. Still with a car underneath them, but lost a couple of spots, I'd imagine, and time, which is going to be crucial to his championship fight as well. As I think he's in P3 at the moment in the championship. Zach Rattray.
That he is. He is the first car in behind Cody Deeth and Damon Woods in all of this here. Speaking of Deeth, we'll go on board with him as he's apparently still sitting as our first car to have done a pit stop within the window that we know is safe to make it home. He's now got Chute Kang and Stuart Ellis in front that he'd like to get past in due course and make it as soon as possible. Look out the back here at Ellis's 73 Porsche as he's alongside of Kang for the run to 10A.
Yeah, there's no room here for Cody Deeth to get through here.
Going to have to be on the exit of 10B if he is close enough to make anything work. He's going to get pulled up, square this off, tuck underneath Kang. tuck underneath Ellis. They come together and the door opens wide and allows Cody Deeth through. He's able to pull it off perfectly in terms of what he needed out of that one there. Chu Kang, they're now under threat from Gianni Lutsu into turn 1, and that door's wide open on the way in and is dealt with on the way out. So there we go, gap to the race lead. And yeah, on that one there, it is very much advantage Dylan Burst. So Cody Deeth, fuel on board the car, maybe a bit to do with traffic as well, and actually definitely on that last lap to do with traffic there. But Cody Deeth, I think, has tried something a little different, and it's not worked out one bit, even though he's been struggling at turn 5 in the slipstream of Woods and Burst in front of him at the front of the field. I just don't think it's paid off for him at all. The leaders are going into turn 1 right now, and we'll have to see if maybe Cody can turn this around here.
Well, I think there was more at play there. I think there was damage on that car as well, so I think he had to get it in to do something, but he has fed himself in the middle of the pack. Probably not ideal, as it shows, like it wasn't. Hindsight is 2020. I just want to go back. We were watching him do some passing on some of the back markers there, Chewy Kang, and the camera work from Jay Kennedy was unbelievable. So give a big shout out for Jay Kennedy in the background. He can't talk, obviously, but that's okay. We can do the talking for him. I'm sure he was really chuffed with a bit of that camera work there before. We can hear him in the comm box and in the background, and he was definitely having a good time with that. Hopefully we get a little bit more of that action later on tonight. So yes, at the front of the field, Dylan Burst and Damon Woods are doing their thing. They should. No, they're going to go one more lap out there, so that's going to bring them down those. Oh, we did have the safety car, so yeah, they could probably stretch this right into the 13 to 12 minute mark of the race to go, and chuck some virtual fuel back into those cars and get them going again. Damon Woods is no slouch. I'd imagine he's going to do a sneaky, like we saw in the rain, a sneaky little undercut in the fuel, and see what he can do. He might be saving in behind him as well. Brad Newman is out there, which is weird to see. No cars around him. He's in P3. He hasn't pitted yet, and there's literally not a soul in sight around him. He's just cruising around by himself in the Lobs bus. Simon Nichols. Oh, as we see people come into the pits now. That's Morella in there as well. P10, Chewy Kang, he's actually gone off the track a little bit there. Stuart Ellis, has he come into the pits? Yes, Stuart Ellis has come into the pits as well. So everyone's coming in for their final stop as they try to go green to the end and see what they can come through with. We'll have to keep an eye on the leaders here when they come through and see how far ahead of their teammate they're actually going to be.
Answer should be healthy, because even on that last lap, last lap, Deeth got back to the pace that these two have been running, as they will go to a 22nd lap in this race, and you better believe that Damon Woods is saving fuel there, tucked up underneath the gearbox of Dylan Burst. He should come out the leader of this race unless Burst, and given the fact that they're pushing, there's no way that Burst isn't pushing to make sure they protect their advantage that they will have gained over Cody Deeth, choosing that undercut strategy, which I do think hasn't worked. And in the middle of the pack, Racho White has overtaken Chu Kang as Deeth, bottom of your screen, goes through to start that same lap. He's also passing by Simon Cox, who's come to the pit lane, as being told. A little bit of progress for the number 3 machine, but you can see there on lap 19 alone, lost quarter of a second, lost another half-tenth on lap 20. That was back on lap 18 or 17, where he lost 7/10 in the one lap alone. So got a lot of work to do to be able to make this one work, or another safety car to just neutralize everything to perhaps help him out there.
Damon Woods is pacey, and here we go. Oh, okay. So Damon Woods is actually going to stay out and push for this next lap, which is interesting from those two. I thought for sure he'd come in here and take the advantage, but wow, that's interesting. to say the least. That car must be on fumes, I'd imagine. We had a 2.5, 3 minute safety car, so this will be it. This will be the lap. You must have saved a bit of fuel. So Dylan Burst just pulls up now. He's looking on the bottom of the screen there. There's Cody Death coming down. It's going to be close as he comes through the start finish line. Wow, they're going to be exiting here together, to be honest. Cody Death rounds turn 1, going up the hill, and yes, his teammate is a fair way up a fair way up the field there. As it comes through the S's, up to that treacherous turn 5. Look at a healthy gap too. Healthy gap. He's got a 2.5 second gap over Cody Death. That's going to be really hard to bring back. We just got to see where Damon Woods comes out. So Damon Woods, we expect him to be in this lap. Hopefully we've got him on screen. We do. So let's watch to see what happens here. He's into the lane now. He's going to be pushing it in. Got to be careful. You touch a little bit of grass there and you become a passenger. As the number 56 machine. And we just heard, as you can see on the screen there, that Jack Doohan has got a 10-second penalty for that questionable contact he had going over the hill and under the bridge. We see at the bottom of the screen here. That's well, that's Dylan Burst at the bottom, I'd imagine. Yes, that's Dylan Burst at the bottom. He's coming through the start-finish line. Damon Woods is just about to get going now. So, oh, this is going to be close. This is going to be the lead of the race.
There he goes through that top shot. Dylan Burst retakes the race lead, and he's pulled a healthy margin in the process. And critically, his stop was not that much shorter for Damon Woods. That was. It was, in fact, it was barely anything shorter. So I reckon Damon here has overfueled the car relative to what. Now that says 9/10 of a second difference. Mine only says 3/10, which is a bit interesting because I'm actually using exactly the same software as what Jay is using to generate there. Let's also note here that there is also about a second and change, and yeah, those actually line up for me. So 1.2 seconds lost in the entire lane, cone-to-cone lane transit for Damon Woods. Whether that was entirely in the box, plus minus half a second, or that was something else, because again, to the way my data's displaying it, and it doesn't quite all add up. And yeah, we saw it on screen, race control notification, but yeah, Jack doing it 10 seconds. I mean, look, I did call it an intentional takeout from the angles we looked at on broadcast. I will hope that there is more evidence to there's more evidence to that incident that explains more. Well, that the race control has obviously been able to use.
There was a little bit of argy-bargy going into that as well. So
yeah, I think, of course there was.
I think young hot heads have come together there, and one came out second best. But yeah, it's not the racing we like to see out there. We like to see them do the position on track and have a crack at it. But hey, still good to have Jack Doohan in here as well. So we're going to take the bad with the good sometimes, unfortunately.
Does often seem that way. Yes, as on board with Morella back in behind Brad Newman. So some things just don't change in this race, and the answer is the number 2 and the number 7 Porsches getting stuck nose to tail. My last lap though, Newman did let Simon Nicholson through, who's now looking to chase down Richie Stanaway. And actually, speaking of Richie Stanaway, who's now in behind Jacob O'Reilly, who we're right on board with right now, that 5-second time penalty that got announced earlier in this feature race actually wasn't for an incident in the feature race. It was actually for the race restart in the sprint, where he overtook Simon Cox. So that's the answer as to why he got given a time penalty. And then I suddenly said, well, we had a restart and he did nothing wrong on that one. It's exactly right. It happened in the other race.
Well, that's interesting that they bring it through to this race. So we've got a replay. Oh, there we go. That's the overtake done by Richie Stanaway in the little sprint to the grid. Wow, great work, Jake, for finding that. That would have taken you a little bit, I'd imagine.
That will demote him to P16 in the race 1 results by applying that time penalty to the results as they present in iRacing currently. But go back live, and we're going to have to critically start worrying again about the race lead, because Dylan Bursa 1:18.8, sounds okay until you see that Damon Woods in behind did a 1:18.4, and he's now looking to hunt down this race lead that has been Dylan Burse's since Cody Deeth's unforced error at turn 5 in the car bottomed out through that corner there. So I have to see how much happens. Deeth as well in the background, but didn't close on that last lap. He'll be hoping he can. But we'll go on board here, Aaron, and ride with Damon Woods as he's in pursuit of our race lead. 7.5 minutes on the clock. This is going to be one of the fastest rides around Road Atlanta we get to see.
That was a pretty quick lap from Damon Woods. I think he might have got a little bit... Oh, hang on. Who got a slow down this then? Because
Damon's has one right now.
Oh wow! So I was just looking at the lap times from that lap before as we were on board with him. He had some sort of slowdown and he's had to give it up too. So Cody Deeth comes through into P2, and Damon Woods has to give it up, or has to give it up in a big way. He's gone nearly 3 seconds behind, nearly 5 seconds behind the leader. So Damon Woods did all that hard work to get close to Dylan Burse, and now has to do all that hard work again, and is going to be under threat possibly from Gianna Lutsu with a P3 position. But it can all change in a little heartbeat here, as we see. There it is. Yep, you can't be doing that. Well, you know what? Not much difference between Dylan Burse and Damon Woods going through there, to be honest.
There's not much, but it makes all the difference. Unfortunately there for Damon Woods in the lead. So he now ends up as, Matthew Boyle, it's off track.
That is stranded.
Thankfully way off circuit there, but that's a good look at you. Oh, he's sorry there, running off by himself. It was in behind his own teammate, and either he's had a massive missed braking marker or something failed, because
it's not a missed braking marker. There is no brakes on that car at all.
He does start braking very, very late, which is why
or a stuck throttle or something of that nature. Yeah, that's an interesting little ride that he went on just then.
Doolan's coming back into the pits. And I'm being told it's an iRacing black flag. Can't see it for myself. Oh, I've got the drive-through penalty. He's not clearing it now. If it is a stop and hold penalty, he's taking the pit stop. That's going to absolutely annihilate or extend the penalty even worse. So the only reason he could even that is due to incident points. And yep, pit service finishes on this mark to pit. So unfortunately for Jack Doolan, that will send him way down the order. Kang in the background has also had one. Is
Simon Nicholson, big move down here into turn 10. He gets it done over Richard Sandway. But Richard Sandway's going to come in for a... no, he's going to stay out.
So Nicholson can go up the road another spot. Jacob O'Reilly, next car on track to chase down, and probably the last car left that Nicholson can chase down by the end of this race. Given we are inside of 3 minutes to go, as it's a gap of 2.8 seconds for Dylan Burst, nearly 2.9, which in the end rounded some more. It's nearly good enough for 3. Cody starting to close back up on that last lap anyways, but going to have to be more than 3/10 a lap to have a chance. We're going to have 2 laps to go here at the line for this feature race to make it a 32 lap event around the road at Atlanta.
It's a pretty good race actually. We've had a few incidents in there at the moment, but this is going to be a breakthrough win for Dylan Burst. I mean, he has been the rear gunner for 5 rounds now. Maybe minus the last round where Cody didn't turn up, but he's been there or thereabouts, and he's just shown absolute pace here today, and a well-deserved, I hope I don't get the wrong, he's on a well-deserved race win out there at the moment. So we might hear a very excited Dylan Burst when we're having a chat with him later on.
We might indeed. Well, still got to get these last 2 laps done before we can say anything certainty, and that also includes some lap traffic for your race leader. But we're on board Brad Newman here once again as he's looking at the back bumper of Richie Stanaway, and he's holding on to the back of Simon Nicholson just a little bit as well. There's actually a line up here of Porsches P8 and P11, and you add on Marino Morella in the background of that one as well. As also hearing that Christopher Chukang and Stuart Ellis back on lap 12. No further action, but there is no turn 18 at the circuit, so maybe it will be lap 18, turn 12, which would line up with the order of operations from the last message we've seen from them. But never mind that, because the confirmation is here at the timing stand that Dylan Burst has just one final lap of the Road Atlanta circuit left before this race is his. He might have lost another 3/10 to Cody Death on that last one, but he can afford to lose 3/10 a lap for the rest of this race. Funnily enough, he's now got himself just, what's that now, officially 9 corners left in this lap to go.
Yeah, good on you, Dylan. Just bring it home, mate. See you on the top step of the podium, and can't wait to see you up there. You've done all the hard work for the last 5 rounds. Just maybe about 5 turns left to go. Cody Death is not pushing at all. He's actually going back, oh, not backwards, but he's just bringing it home as well. Damon Woods, so an Eclipse 1, 2, 3 lockout at the moment. Gianni Lutsu has tried valiantly to try and bring this car up to the front, but I just saw a little bit of a wobble at the front there just for a second. But yeah, this is great from the guys here at Eclipse Sim Sports. If it's not Damon Woods and it's not Cody Death, it's Dylan Burst coming through for a race win. So through turn 10 for the last time tonight, coming over under the bridge, down the hill to the start-finish line. Round 6, race 2 of the ANZ GT3 National Championship belongs to Dylan Burst. Well done, with a very comfortable win, 2.5 seconds over Cody Death, and Damon Woods a further 2.5 seconds back from that as well. As to the minor placings coming through, Gianna Lutsu, Jamie Christensen, Zach Racho White for the Vermilion boys tried their hardest to try and bring it home. Jacob O'Reilly somehow got that car. Wow, what happened there? The Richie's done away. He actually finishes in P11. He actually finishes in P11 with a little bit of a slowdown as they come across the line, and yeah, these boys will be enjoying this as they go through wide. Probably having a chat as well. And hopefully we get to have a chat with them as well, Dan.
I'm sure they know where to find us and have that chat indeed to explain how things went down in that one there tonight. And with that, we just wait on a couple of cars come around, such as 22 of Greg Barber to finish the race. And with that, our race should be over, and we can bring up the results as they came across the line. Of course, noting we do have a couple of post-race penalties for minor placings that will affect things, but it will be Dylan Burst, Cody Death, and Damon Woods. You're classified an official top 3 for the feature race. It should also mean that Burst wins the round feature race, awarding more points than the sprint. Gianni Lutzu in P4 is it first car, then actually bringing home a trio of Vermilion cars in Jamie Christensen, Zach Rattray White, and Jacob O'Reilly, even with Rattray White's post-race time penalty that has been applied. And it was Simon Nicholson looking to chase down O'Reilly, but not quite there in the end, unfortunately, for the 08 machine. Brad Newman and Marina Morella going to round out your top 10 here in this feature race.
Yeah, Richie Stanaway comes through there for P11. He was on for a P9 result there, but got a little bit of a slowdown there as he came through the start-finish line. Thomas Hiddens, Zachary Vlasblom, Adam Hughes, Simon Cox, Shane is in there as well. Greg Barber, Stuart Ellis, and Nathan Gardner. Chui Kang makes up the top 20. They're actually a lap backwards at the moment as well. So Dylan Burse in there, Dylan Burse one's the thing. Jack Doohan in P21. After an incident as well, so he's back. He's finished in the pits. Matthew Boylett in the pits. Matthew Dench, we saw what happened there. Sproul and Chadwick was out early, so commiserations for the guys there. Those last 4 cars there, but some great racing tonight from the guys, and hopefully, I hear some people knocking outside our little sweaty combox here at the moment. Hopefully, we can get them in here and have a chat.
I think we will indeed. And yeah, I think best of all, we'll start with our race winner and what I do believe should be our round winner in Dylan Burson. He's already put a video stream. Sorry about that, Dylan. I'm going to be interrupting that party there in the waiting room, and we'll bring him in here to have a chat with us first of all. But I've been waiting to have a chance to chat with you, Dylan, and you've been able to finally break Cody's streak in the feature races here this season. So congratulations on your first feature race win of this GT3 Championship.
No, appreciate that, mate. It's been a long time coming. I'm glad to finally get it. So yeah, aided by Deef having it off a bit, but what do you do?
Indeed, yeah. We'll hopefully hear from Cody, unfortunately, how that transpired for him, but definitely looked like a bit of a handful at times through turn 5 at the bottom of those S's. But obviously, yeah, with the 3 of you guys looking, again, the class of the field tonight, although at times not necessarily breaking away by miles, just comfortable margins, really, I guess you could say, at this one here tonight. But I guess, obviously, yeah, with the 3 of you there, basically in your race, every little opportunity is a big opening for someone like yourself to be able to step up there.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, there's not too much time to be made anywhere on this track, so it's quite close compared, throughout the field. So, I mean, gaining a 10th every lap or something like that, just pulling a gradual margin helps quite a lot, because it's also difficult for other people to pull back in and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, pretty happy with it. We all did well, worked together. So yeah.
And of course, with Damon there on your gearbox for basically the opening stint, once Cody unfortunately dropped back into P3. Were you concerned about his fuel numbers and any fuel saving he might have been able to do, and also going that extra lap on the fuel you had to start with?
Yeah, I mean, in the end, I think he got a leader on me in the pits, but he ended up missing his box by a little bit, so he sort of just missed out a little bit and came out quite behind because of that, unfortunately. So if that wasn't the case, he would have been either right on me coming out of the pits, or maybe just in front, one of the two. But yeah, shame for him to be that far back. I thought I had no fuel though in the end, so I was saving as well, so it would have been close, that's for sure, if he didn't slow down.
Yeah, indeed. That slowdown, unfortunately, robbing us of a 3-way fight potentially, but nevertheless, at least at the very least, a good 2-way scrap. But take a week off here in this championship, and we start heading to Australian tracks come May. Sandown will be our first course on offer once we get back. Now, that's going to be a bit of an interesting one, perhaps, with 2 long straights. Going to be needing to make some big moves under brakes. What do you think that's going to be like with a field of GT3 cars when we get round to that on May 11?
Qualifying pretty much, I guess. It's a bit of a shithole too, but I mean, just get a good quali and you should be able to hold it up the front with some luck, and yeah, fuel saving as well. That's probably the only chance you're going to get to pass someone, jump from the pits. So it's going to be interesting. See if it rains too. Don't know if it's meant to, but it might. That'll also shake some stuff up.
Dylan, yeah, honest truth from you, like always. I just wanted to talk to you about last week we went to a place like Laguna Seca. Look, I tried to get someone executed. It just didn't go through.
No. That's good. That's all right. That's all right. It's Yeah, I just had to express my feelings for a horrible
Hey, no,
track
hey.
like that. Yeah.
Honesty's the best policy around here,
Yeah,
and I
that's
absolutely
it,
love
mate.
it.
I'll always say what I think. So
Hey,
Can't
with
always do
with
that.
saying what you think as well, you said, hey, it's unfortunate that Cody Death got a bit of a slowdown and turn 5. Mate, you are up the front. You finished first in a front of Cody Death and Damon Woods. That is a massive result for you, and you should be absolutely excited about that. Hopefully, this brings you that step closer to being, I don't know, maybe the Eclipse Sim Sports leader out there, and maybe we can let Cody Death retire, and you can take over the reins.
yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a shame. It's always freeways are always fun, as not very few people know. But yeah, yeah, it's a shame he had to crash out a little bit like that. Would have been a sick battle the whole race. But I mean, yeah, I'm pretty happy to finally come out on top a little bit. So try and keep it this way, but we'll see what happens. I don't have many more decent tracks on the calendar. I mean, Bathurst is probably my last competent track, so we'll see what happens in the next few rounds, though.
Well, Dylan, thanks for joining us in the Combox. Hey, these guys are going to give us an Eclipse SimSport shout out, but do it yourself as well, mate. You'll probably do it better than them.
I probably won't, but anyway, we'll try. Yeah, like to thank Eclipse, Damo for having a go, Cody Death, Jackson Barry, Caleb Hides, Eddie Bestwick, Hayden Veld, Griffin Gardner for spotting, and also just Neil Gardner for being in there across the pond.
Thanks very much, Dylan. Yeah, Dan. We'll let I'll let you go celebrate with your teammates, but we'll have a chat with them first. Great race. Don't be hard on yourself, mate. You had pace. You were going to win that race. I had money on you to start with. So
yeah,
well
no,
done
I
in the
was
future.
happy with my pace for once. So yeah, no, I'm pretty keen with that. So try and keep it up, eh?
Definitely, mate.
Antonio.
We'll see you in the in here in a fortnight's time, I'd imagine.
Nah, cheers, brother.
Thanks, mate.
Have a good one, bro. See ya.
There we are.
That was Dylan Burst. I do like having a bit of a chat with Dylan. He's a bit of a loose goose at times. So we'll bring the other two in. We'll bring Cody Death in here for his P2 result, that's miles away where we expect you to be, Cody. That's ruined your record here for feature races, but well deserved for your teammate Dylan Burst.
Yeah, he did a really good job. Kept me honest the whole time. Bit angry with myself with the mistake, but as I said in the previous interview, it's very easy, especially in this car, to make a bit of a mistake and bottom out. And I was in the fence, so had a bit of damage there. As you could probably see in the first stint, didn't have quite the pace I had in the first couple laps, but you know, is what it is. Still P2 overall in for the weekend, but yeah.
Yeah, for these two races, yeah, really good result for you. It looks like it's so good to watch you guys race, and it takes just the tiniest of margins to go off there turn 5. I think you actually put the mockers on yourself. I think you willed it to happen in our interview. So we couldn't believe it when we saw it, but that car must have had damage, and you had to pit, which was a little bit out of sequence to everyone else.
Yeah, and once I pitted, sort of thing, I got caught up in a couple cars that are further back in the pack, which didn't help my cause. So I mean, here's what it is. Still, as I said, P2, good result. Still first in the championship.
I'll throw you over to Dan because P2 and the Eclipse 1, 2, 3 basically is a good result no matter what. So I throw you over to Dan for a couple of words.
I mean, yeah, not much more to say because, as you said, you unfortunately turned 5, catching being the place that unfortunately undid you there. But look forward to the rest of the season. Take a week off again next week, but we'll come back on May 11th and start our visit to Australian tracks on the schedule with Sandown National Motor Raceway. Now, Dylan wasn't all too complimentary of the circuit and what to expect with the way the cars are racing around there. But what are your thoughts on how things are going to play out and keys to your race perhaps when we get there in 2 weeks' time?
I mean, it's certainly going to be interesting. GT don't race there too much on iRacing, but especially with the chicanes and the big curbs, it's going to be interesting. GT3s don't tend to like big bumps and stuff, but I mean, we'll see how it goes. Should be a fun combo.
There we go. So Cody Death a little bit more optimistic perhaps, or at the very least keeping an open mind as to what's going to come the field's way in 2 weeks' time. And well, the other one that also might throw a curveball, it's Melbourne in May. Rain certainly possible. Whether we actually get it, that is definitely left to be seen with the forecast. We'll hopefully hear about in the coming days and weeks before the race. But Cody, before we let you go, who do you want to thank for helping you get it done tonight for Eclipse?
Obviously, 5-6 sim coaching, Eclipse Sim Sports, obviously ANZ and Sim Speed for sorting it all out, this championship. Thank Motorsport Australia for sanctioning it. All the teammates, Dylan Burr, Eddie Beswick, and all those guys have been really awesome last couple of months.
Well, there we have it. Cody Deeth, unfortunately not able to keep the streak alive tonight, but nevertheless will walk away second place in the feature to round out his racing at Road Atlanta this week. And our final driver that we need to bring in is the man who will end up P3 in both races. And I'll hand to you, Aaron, to chat to Damon Woods here.
Oh, Damon Woods, it's so good to have you in here. I thought you were on for first, then I thought, he'll get second, and then you made a little mistake to come through for P3. But as a whole, as you guys, you're probably watching some replays at the moment. Good result.
Yeah, it was a solid result for tonight. Yeah, it's unfortunate that an iRacing slowdown that says 1 second is actually a 5-second slowdown. So it is what it is. A small mistake with a big consequence, which is unfortunate. But I still bag a podium, so can't really complain.
Well, look, I was watching that. We actually went to the replay of what your slowdown was like. Literally watched Dylan Burse take a millimeter different line than you, and he was fine through there. So unfortunate. Although Dylan had some supreme pace there, and it looks like he made a little bit of a mistake coming through the pits as well. It looks like you're a second slower than Dylan through the pits as well. So, yeah, a couple of mistakes through tonight, but all in all, mate, like I said, a good result for you and the team.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, like I said, it was not a bad result. Yeah, made a little mistake in the pits, decided to overshoot the pit box. So yeah, it's a bit of a skill issue, but yeah, like I said, I'll still bag a podium. It's it's really this round and Sandown are the only ones I can do. So yeah, it's going to be unfortunate. We're going to drop in the championship because we should be able to maybe grab a top 3 if all things went well. But yeah, unfortunately, I have to miss the last 2 rounds. So it is what it is. But yeah, it's been fun having a bit of Saturday night action in GT3s.
Yeah, look, so are you saying that next, in the fortnight's time, you won't be racing? Is that what you're saying?
No, I will be here for Sandown, but Phillip Island and Bathurst I will be vacating, unfortunately.
Okay, then, well, that's a bit of a shame. But yeah, speaking of championship land, you've just come out of nowhere in the last 3 rounds and just made yourself up. I reckon you'll be in P5 after this, to be honest. P5, P6 in the championship. So it's unfortunate, but just shows the skill that you've brought here to the GT3 National Championship, and hopefully some of that has rubbed off on your teammates and some other people around watching you race as well. So thank you for joining us, mate. Give us a shout out and who helped you get here tonight, mate.
As always, I've got to thank the boys at Door Esports. That they really make it all possible for me. So huge thanks to them, all the team sponsors, and that's about it.
Mate, thanks for joining us in the Combox, mate. Hopefully we'll see you again in the not too distant future. Actually, before I let you go, rubbing shoulders with such greats as Jack Doohan and Richie Stanaway out there. I don't know if you had to get to have a chat with them on track, but that was a little bit exciting for you and the team, I'd imagine, as well.
I mean, it would have been good if we were racing them, but we were a bit in front. So, but no, it's pretty cool to have those names on track. So yeah, hopefully can have them return for future events.
Thanks very much, Damon. We'll let you go, let you celebrate and watch some replays of your little slowdown. I imagine that's what you're looking at now. And I hope to see you shortly.
See you, mate. Have a good one. Thanks, boys.
So, go on, Dan.
I was going to say, that there will just about do it for us. And while we preview Sandown with nice clear skies, I actually kind of hope we'll see something a little different. Maybe start wet, go dry. Well, either way, honestly, we're coming to Melbourne, and virtual or real, you come here to Melbourne and you're going to be given potentially just about any kind of conditions possible. So I hope that the door is wide open for the possibility of some rain to make things a little interesting, because I mean, I haven't driven GT3 here myself in quite some time, but very much so, unless you can get a really good run down the back straight or the front straight, you are going to be reliant on a lot of fuel saving or some really ambitious braking maneuvers into turn 1 or down to Dandenong Road to make things work around here. And then you've got to balance that with the fact that, as Cody said, his car is not particularly often bouncing up and over the curbs like you might want to do through turns 2 and 3.
Yeah, we're going to see some craziness in a couple of weeks' time. So if you're watching now, please join us in a couple of weeks when we go to Sandown. It's an awesome track. I mean, yes, it's got big curves, but look, these guys are smart enough to stay off them, to be honest. And you're right, the fuel saving is going to be massive. If you're in that train, you're going to be able to save 2, maybe even 3 seconds in a stop. So looking forward to that. And Dan, 3 more rounds left, mate. It's gone pretty quick.
This series, will make its way towards its conclusion in a fairly rapid fashion. Just the one race coming up, it's the one round, I should say, at Sandown. Then we take another week off after it, and then we'll get our final 2 races to go back to back to round out the month of May into early June to complete this first GT3 National Championship here, thanks to you guys at ANZ ESeries.
Yeah, hey, we're enjoying it. I hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope everyone at home is watching, and all the guys, obviously all these guys watch it again later on and see if they got their name shouted out, which we try to do as much as we can. I might wrap it up here. Thanks to everyone, actually, for spending your Saturday night with us, whether you're a driver or watching or in any capacity. Believe me, it's the pleasure's ours. I can tell you. You have been watching the 2024 ANZ ESeries GT3 National Championship live from here at Road Atlanta. I just nearly forgot that. From Dan, Jay, and myself, a massive thank you for your support. And look forward to seeing you at the next round at Sandown in Melbourne. Toodles!
Weekend in, weekend out, Motorsport Australia officials are making waves. From waving flags, waving cars through pit lane, or responding to a wave for help. Wave hello to new lifelong friends. Who knows, you might just make waves around the world. Ride the first wave. Search Motorsport Australia officials today.